Singer, songwriter, and actress, a Japanese cult icon of the 1980s, Togawa Jun is a rather complex figure to talk about, but hopefully through this video you'll get to understand a bit more about this fascinating individual whose influence is still strong even to this day. But be warned, this one's a bit of a roller coaster ride. Jun grew up in a household that was fairly well off, with both her parents and her younger sister Kyoko. Jun's father ran a trading company dealing mainly with fruit, in particular bananas from Taiwan, Japan being their main export destination for them at that time. Jun's mother, a dedicated housewife, used to hum songs. Jun actually considers this to be the source of her interest in music. When Jun was in elementary school, she and her sister Kyoko would enter a whole new world. The world of show business. They joined the children's theatre group known as the Gekidan Himawari, or Himawari Theatre Group in English. FYI, Gekidan Himawari still exists today and have some pretty massive talent under them, including many popular Japanese voice actors and actresses. Having aspirations to be an actress, this was Jun's chance to fulfill her dreams and shine in the limelight. However, things didn't go very well for Jun, saying that maybe it was because she didn't really stand out that much, but Jun would often be in roles where she was just an extra. However, her sister Kyoko was the one that shined, managing to easily get noteworthy roles. As a result of this, her parents would tell Jun that she just didn't have the talent. But pretty soon after, Jun would end up proving them wrong, as she managed to pass an audition for a major play known as Osho, performed by the theatre troupe Shin Kokugeki. The way she passed was also hilarious. According to Jun, it was just down to her and two other kids. There were about 3 or 4 lines, but when it was her turn, she screamed, "Otosan no aho!" which we can translate as, "Dad, you dumbass." And that's how she got the role. Now, you think that Jun's parents would have been happy that she had gotten such a role and that she was getting closer to achieving her dreams. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. In fact, it was the complete opposite. Her parents were against her proceeding into the world of showbiz with the excuse, "But you have school." And yet, they weren't against Kyoko going down the showbiz route. When Jun asked why was it okay for Kyoko and not for her, her parents responded with, "Well, Kyoko has talent, so it's okay for her to continue." Ouch. I guess Jun's parents weren't confident Jun could make it in showbiz. Being told this, Jun thought to herself, not all the entertainers that appear on TV seem to have talent, so she decided to concentrate on her studies, and once she went to university, to go back to doing theatre. Now, before we continue into how Jun ended up being a famous, influential cult icon, one thing we need to talk more about is Jun's relationship with her parents, more specifically, her father. Being a part of a family that had money, during her elementary school years, her father would buy her many things like toys, and her mother would often take Jun to the theatre. However, when Jun entered middle school, Jun's father started to become a bit possessive of her. For example, he would ban her from going out on Sundays and imposed a strict curfew, demanding her to be back home by 5 p.m. If she were to break the rules, as punishment, he would make her sit in seiza and hit her thighs. As someone who can't even sit in seiza for more than 2 minutes, I can't imagine the pain she went through. This continued even after she entered university, so unfortunately the return to the theatre plan wasn't able to come to fruition, at least straight away. That was until one day, things went too far. After being scolded by her father for 2 hours for some trivial reason, returning to her room, Jun would suffer a severe panic attack and would be taken to the hospital by an ambulance. I can't imagine how terrifying this experience was for her, but it was also thanks to this that she was finally able to break free. After this incident, she was allowed to move out and live by herself. Unfortunately, issues at home weren't the only thing that plagued Jun's childhood. Another problem was bullying. As I mentioned before, Jun's family were doing very well financially, and apparently some of the boys in her elementary school were jealous of Jun's perceived privileged lifestyle and bullied her as a result of it. Things weren't any better for Jun in middle school either, and with Jun's strict father too, You can only imagine the mental anguish Jun must have gone through during this period. If I can become an actress, I can live a life different from my own. With that motivation, Jun became more and more determined to become an actress. At 18, Jun joined a talent agency, but similar to her elementary school years, the auditions she would get were for very minor roles, with maybe 1 or 2 lines, sometimes with no lines at all. But even then, with only playing minor roles, Jun felt that she was finally in the world she dreamed of, showbiz. Eventually though, Jun would work her way into getting auditions for bigger roles. In 1980, she even managed to get herself a semi-regular role in the drama series Shiawase Senso, which is centered around youths who work at a radio station striving for happiness while going through the pains of life. How she managed to get that role is, interestingly, also connected to her getting involved with the music world. In the late 1970s, Jun would frequently go to a rock cafe in Shibuya called Nylon 100%. This was a well-loved place for music lovers, as they would have live bands play there, but unfortunately it closed in the late 80s. Jun was pretty well known at Nylon 100%, and she would also come to know a musician by the name of Ueno Koji. At the time she met him, Ueno Koji was in a punk band called Hakka Nibun no Ichi, which would soon merge with another band called Shonen Homeruns to form a new wave band going by the name Hallmans. In an interview, Koji said that as a big fan of the band, Jun would often come to their recording sessions, and despite being such a regular at Nylon 100%, she claimed to be an actress. He also mentioned that Jun would often mimic Yamaguchi Yoshiko, a famous actress, singer, and politician who was born in China to Japanese parents. Yamaguchi Yoshiko was also in many English language movies under the stage name Shirley Yamaguchi. Now going back to the drama audition, Jun sang one of Yamaguchi Yoshiko's songs as a way of showing her talent, which led her to getting the role. Yay! However, acting wasn't the only thing that started taking off for Jun. Jun would get involved with Hallmans' music, even appearing as a guest vocalist on their first album, and even appearing for live performances. It was thanks to this that Jun would end up joining Koji and one other person, Ota Keiichi, to form Gerunika, a Japanese retro-style avant-garde music unit which utilized a lot of World War II imagery and themes. I think that's the first time I've ever said avant-garde. Apparently they named the group after one of Picasso's paintings of the same name. It's with Gerunika that Jun would officially make her recording debut. In 1982 they put out their debut album Kaizo e no Yakudo. Not only that, Jun landed another role, this time in the comedy drama Keiji Yoroshiku, the lead character of which was played by the legend Beat Takeshi. Jun played the role of Otsuyu, a tea bringer described as having a dark aura similar to a ghost. Alright. Within that same year of 1982, Jun would also star in commercials for Yamaha and also for Toto's washlet commercial. Actually, many Japanese people to this day associate Jun with that Toto commercial. Unfortunately, after around a year since its formation, Gerunika would go on hiatus, as Koji's family business ended up going under, leaving him needing to take care of the aftermath. However, Jun's music career wasn't going to end there. Oh no. Jun made a new band with former members of Hallmans called Togawa Jun to Yapuzu, which was quite different from Gerunika. Now the reason why Jun formed a new band wasn't necessarily because she wanted to. The truth is, it was done because she was the one who ended up being responsible for fulfilling the contract obligations with the record company. The genre of Togawa Jun to Yapuzu, which would eventually be changed to just Yapuzu, is new wave. They were very alternative, with extremely dark and pretty grotesque lyrics. Togawa Jun to Yapuzu was completely centered around Jun, putting out their debut live album Uratama Hime in 1984. Jun had also put out her own solo studio album Tama Hime-sama just a few months before that. Now let's talk about Jun's musical style a bit. Everything from her song lyrics, her stage performances, to the way she sings was just so different from what was going on during that time. She sang about menstrual cycles, death, and seemingly challenged the Japanese standards of idol culture and how women were perceived. Her vocals dynamically shifted from soft and sweet to screaming like she was in a punk band or having a mental breakdown. Sometimes she would even sound like an opera singer, and her stage performances were just I mean, just look. She just dominated the scene with her presence due to her distinct uniqueness, separating her from any other female artist. Jun's popularity started to skyrocket, and she started appearing on a host of different popular shows on TV. With being an actress, appearing in commercials, and doing music in her own particular way, there were some who didn't really know how to categorize Jun. In the media, they would refer to her as Fushigi-chan, which directly translated would be something along the lines of mysterious girl. However, the nuance of the term Fushigi-chan isn't necessarily positive. Fushigi-chan is described as a girl with a unique personality who repeatedly does things differently from the norm. Their fashion also tends to be unusual, and they also say things that are a bit odd. In other words, another way to translate Fushigi-chan is simply a weird girl. Being in the mainstream among idols and celebrities that exuded positivity, Jun must have really stood out. Her fans, though, loved her, and especially that perceived weirdness about her. And that fan base would just continue to grow as her activities continued throughout the 80s and 90s, even starring in major movies. Of course, I should also mention the release of what would be one of her most popular songs, Ski Ski Daisuki, which was a part of her album of the same name. I personally would highly recommend giving this song a listen to. Now, with all that I've talked about, some may perceive Jun as being an anti-idol, as someone who wanted to challenge society in some way, but to me, Jun is just an artist, someone who wanted to express themselves in their own way, and wasn't afraid to do so. The last thing I think Jun would ever want to do is pick a fight, but let me know what you think. Honestly, Jun has done so many things throughout her career that it would be impossible to cover everything. But I hope this video has given you some idea about what she's all about and an excuse to check out some of the things that she has done. Please also feel free to add your own Togawa Jun recommendations or anything else I didn't cover about her. Jun is still active. She has her own YouTube channel where she gives life advice and talks about a variety of subjects, so I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. This was a request, and it was really interesting to find out about Togawa Jun, all the things that she's been through and all the things that she's done. She's a really fascinating person, I gotta say. So yeah, check her out for sure. But again, thank you again, guys, for all the comments. I'm also like really grateful for all the subs. I guess I'm going to be aiming for 10,000 this year, I guess, at this pace. But yeah, if you do enjoy this kind of content, if you do want to see more, let me know in the comments and please consider subscribing. But thank you very much. Thank you again, guys. Take care. Bye.